journalist Martin Brundle has sparked widespread attention by openly urging the FIA to step in after the escalating feud between Max Verstappen versus George Russell. Meanwhile, Ferrari's championship hopes have suffered a devastating blow as Charles Leclerc faces a significant penalty, jeopardizing their pursuit of glory in the closing stages of the season. In a related development, the FIA has launched a major investigation following mounting pressure from journalists demanding accountability for Verstappen's threats. Welcome to F1 Real Time. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The Formula One paddock was ablaze on Media Day in Abu Dhabi as George Russell launched a scathing attack on Max Verstappen, accusing the reigning four-time world champion of being a bully. This dramatic confrontation marks the most public display of hostility between top-tier drivers in recent years, setting the stage for an electrifying end to the season. Russell's comments came during a charged press conference, following Verstappen's pointed criticism of the Mercedes driver at the Qatar Grand Prix. The brewing tension between the two rivals, which had previously simmered beneath the surface, exploded into the open with Russell's fiery rebuttal. Despite attempts at reconciliation, such as the traditional end-of-season dinner that brought all 20 drivers together, the divide between Russell and Verstappen remains palpable. While they managed to occupy the same room, reports suggest the two stayed at opposite ends of the table, underscoring the fractured relationship. With the season finale fast approaching, many are questioning how this rivalry will impact the dynamic within the paddock. Sky Sports F1 pundit Martin Brundle weighed in, suggesting that the FIA should intervene to prevent further escalation. George is the only one brave enough to stand up to Max right now. Everyone else has just wilted, Brundle remarked, drawing comparisons to his own experiences with fiercely competitive drivers like Ayrton Senna. The FIA should step in and manage this, but they're too preoccupied with their own issues to take action. Brundle stopped short of assigning blame, leaving it to fans and analysts to decide who's in the wrong. However, he did highlight Verstappen's increasingly aggressive approach, both on the track and in his dealings with the media. Max has ramped up his aggression on the track and adopted a victim mentality of it, and it's working. He's got everyone on edge, drivers, teams, even the media. The veteran commentator praised Verstappen's mastery in high-pressure situations, noting his unparalleled skill in controlling his car during wheel-to-wheel battles. He knows the rule book inside out and uses it to his advantage. Every time he pushes the boundaries, it seems to play out in his favor. The tension between Russell and Verstappen harks back to an era of fierce rivalries in Formula One, reminiscent of the clashes between Senna and Prost. Fans and pundits alike are speculating on whether this war of words will carry over onto the track in Abu Dhabi, where both drivers will be under intense scrutiny. Meanwhile, as Ferrari rolled into the Yas Marina circuit, the Scuderia found itself in an uphill battle. Trailing McLaren by 21 points in the Constructors' Championship, their hopes hinged on a perfect weekend. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile, aimed to secure second place in the drivers' standings, edging out McLaren's Lando Norris. However, Leclerc's campaign got off to a disastrous start. In the opening session of practice, Ferrari's mechanics were forced into action as his SF suffered an energy store issue, confining him to the garage for the first half of FP1. Emerging midway through the session, Leclerc wasted no time making up for lost ground. His initial laps were methodical, climbing steadily up the timesheets. Then, with just minutes to go, Leclerc delivered a stunning lap to claim the fastest time, beating Norris by 0.2 of a second. The jubilant atmosphere in the Ferrari garage was short-lived. The FIA soon issued a damning technical note from Joe Bowell, the Formula One technical delegate, which confirmed that Leclerc had exceeded the allowable limit of energy stores for the season. The energy store used by Charles Leclerc is the third of the two new energy stores allowed for the 2024 championship season, and this is not in conformity with Article 28.2 of the 2024 Formula One sporting regulations. The penalty: a 10-place grid drop, throwing a massive wrench into Ferrari's ambitions. Speaking to media on Thursday, Leclerc acknowledged the enormity of the task ahead. On our side, we need to do everything perfect, that's for sure. And by doing everything perfect, I really mean it. We need to finish first and second this weekend, and we need things to not go exactly the way they want at McLaren because, on paper, they will be strong on this track as well. Leclerc also highlighted Ferrari's historical struggles in Abu Dhabi. We've never won here in Abu Dhabi, so there's quite a lot of work, but it's not impossible. I think we've had the right approach in the last few races, And we've taken some points even on weekends where we did not expect to do so. Despite the setback, Leclerc struck a tone of cautious optimism. This weekend, we're a bit more neutral, and we think this is going to be a positive weekend for us. I really hope that is the case, and that we can take the opportunity to win that championship. But it is a stretch. With the grid penalty now looming, Leclerc's climb to the front will require a masterclass in strategy and execution. For Ferrari, the stakes couldn't be higher. A 1 to finish is now not just a goal but a necessity, coupled with McLaren faltering to give them any chance of snatching the constructors' title. The battle between Ferrari and McLaren has defined the latter half of the season, and as the sun sets on the Yas Marina circuit, it's poised to be a showdown of grit, skill, and determination. Meanwhile, the escalating feud between Max Verstappen and George Russell has dominated headlines in the lead-up to the 2024 F1 season finale in Abu Dhabi. What began as an on-track incident in Qatar has spiraled into a war of words, with both drivers trading accusations and raising questions about the role of the FIA in managing driver disputes. The controversy stems from last weekend's Qatar Grand Prix during Q3 preparation laps. Russell accused Verstappen of dangerous driving, claiming the Red Bull driver's slow movement created a hazard. The steward sided with Russell, handing Verstappen a one-place grid penalty that saw him demoted from pole position, elevating Russell to P1. Tensions escalated further during the stewards' meeting. Russell alleged that Verstappen threatened to deliberately crash into him, reportedly saying he would put me on my F***king head in the wall. Verstappen has vehemently denied the accusation, labeling Russell a bully and a loser. Despite the fiery accusations, the FIA has chosen not to intervene. Sky F1 correspondent Craig Slater reported that the governing body sees no grounds for an investigation under the Bringing the Sport into Disrepute rule, though the situation could change depending on future developments. Slater explained, "I've sought guidance within the FIA. The guidance I'm getting at the moment is that it's unlikely that this will be investigated. However, let's see how this develops." Russell insists his decision to reveal Verstappen's alleged comments was not a move to seek penalties for the four-time world champion. Speaking to media, he clarified his intentions. "I'm not looking to get Max penalized. I'm not looking for any repercussions from this. I am standing up for myself, for a guy who is coming out, questioning my integrity as a person, slamming me in the press. And I just want to set the record straight." Russell believes Verstappen crossed a line in Qatar, emphasizing the need to defend himself against public attacks. With the 2024 season finale at Yas Marina just days away, the Verstappen-Russell feud adds a layer of drama to an already high-stakes race. The FIA's decision to stay on the sidelines for now leaves the drivers to settle their differences on track. For Verstappen, the spat could serve as additional motivation to assert his dominance, while Russell's pole position in Qatar demonstrates his growing prowess and determination to challenge the Red Bull star.